everybody, I'm Heroes of the Greeks. Thank you for joining me today with another mod preview or mod special. I'm not sure what you want to call it, but a mod overview. Here we are with the Age of Aetius mod. It's actually one of the Aetius mods that you can play as in that Steamworks provides. You have, of course, the Age of Majorian. I think you also have the Age of Justinian, and now we are going to look at the Age of Aetius. Also, one thing to note, what you're now seeing is that the Western Roman Emperor has a different type of armor. That is because I'm using some sub mods in this video that will not be representing the mod itself, but it will just, they basically add some flavor to the Roman Empire. So if you're interested in that, I will also put those ones in the link in the description below if you're interested in those mods. But to start off with, basically, this sort of sets a time period when the Western Roman Empire is still sort of relatively in a relatively steady position, although of course it has already had the barbarian invasion from the Visigoths, the Suebi, and the Vandals, who have of course taken parts of northern Africa from the Romans, and also parts of the Gallic territories have fallen to the barbarian invasions, and Britain as well has fallen. So yeah, that's also one thing you have to note. So that's the Western Roman Empire for you. Of course, you're going to take the leader of the empire is Flavius Valentinianus. I think this is sort of the cousin of Theodosius. I'm not too sure of the brother. I'm not too sure. It might be the brother of Theodosius or the cousin, one of the two. And you also have Theodosius himself, who has taken charge of the Eastern Roman Empire. So also one thing to note, the Roman, I think they also have a different type of cultural integration system, these the Western Romans, because I'm pretty sure that is not their normal trait, so that's also kind of good. Upkeep reduction for land units, and also an upkeep per production per Roman non-military force. So if you would use foederati units and so on, that would possibly decrease it. So that's overall not too bad. So you can get almost a 40% decrease if you use artillery forces. So those are the ones you could use. The other faction that we have are the Huns. Instead of having to wait actually kind of a couple of years before you can actually take charge of Attila, you're really able to use him, so that's also kind of cool. So enemy morale when fighting Christian factions, so that's overall not too bad. And you of course there were a few things that they also have. And they also have a decreasement in upkeep cost, but I think they don't have normally, so that's overall also not too bad. And we have got the White Huns in the east. The Eastern Kingdoms, we only have the Sassanid kingdoms. And for the Barbarian Kingdom, you have the Visigoths led by Theodoric. Got the Franks, who are already taking a little bit of parts of Gaul. You have the Burgundians, who are still a little bit of a golden here. We have the Vandals, who have taken parts of northern Africa. And as last, we have the last pocket of Ostrogothic territories down here in Pannonia. And this is them. So for those who are interested, we're going to take a little bit of a look on how the starting position is and the characters. You have Aetius, of course, because for the Western Romans, and other characters maybe for the Eastern. We're taking a look for the Western Romans now. Here we are, and this is the Western Roman Empire pocket. To show off, this is the family tree. As we can see, we got Flavius Valentinius is the leader, and he got a daughter and also another daughter. And we also got Flavius Aetius, who also has been taken into royal family. Got Julius Majorian, so here we got the future Roman emperor. Who we're playing with in my other campaign. I will put a link to that in the end of the video. With the Age of Majorian mode, we're actually playing as this character, Julius Valerius Majorian, and we also got Flavius Ricimer over here, also one of the characters in that campaign. And I think those are the rest. Yeah, those are the ones that we are familiar with in that campaign. So that's certainly interesting to see that we have some parts. So as you can see, the rest of the Roman Empire still has some reasonable amount of territory. In the Age of Majorian mod, you basically control mostly Italy and a little bit of parts of Gaul, but not as much territory as in this one. So I suppose there are pluses and downsides of controlling these amounts of territory. But yeah, these are like the territories that rest around the urban control. I suppose the difficulty you would face is yeah, hoping that you don't get a war declared won by any of the other forces. Like you would maybe try and get peace with the Allemans, or try and break down the Suebi, where you war with right up the way. And of course, you still have the Huns here, who are now being led by the Attila himself. So that's certainly a difficulty that you would have to face. And you also have Flavius, Augustus Theodosius, who is down here, has some territory, also not too bad. But yeah, so you would face, of course, Aetius. You have as your heir at the moment. I suppose that won't be historically accurate, but you know, it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, it got basically Aetius to versus Attila here. So I suppose what I would do is, what I also do in my Majorian campaign, I'm mostly just trying to consolidate my territory. I possibly would just leave most of this territory here in the Balkans, and also Gaul, because the Gaul is just really out in the open. What I possibly try is actually take out the Swabians first, so I could control Spain. Spain is a really valuable territory if you can control it. I would say in Attila, it has very little territory. It's like 1, 2, 3, 5, and it's mostly protected, especially if you can take out the Vandals afterwards. So I would possibly go take out the Fabians, then root down the Vandals, and then just try and hold the barbarians and Huns off from your strong points in Italy. Yeah, sort of try and do that, and yeah, try and become an benevolent ruler again, and trying to restore Rome in the honor of the gods, something like that. So yeah, that's that. That is the Western Roman Empire situation. Yeah, the East we can also sort of already look from their point of view. Yeah, the East is actually kind of the ones that I think are the most stable. The only ones they had war were the Huns, so they should have, yeah, they should try and make some sort of an straight down here and try and take out the Tachinids as well, who are down here. Maybe buy off the Sassanids. We've also got a lot of territory, but they also have to contend with the White Huns without their vassals, so that's also going to be very difficult for them. So there's a good chance you're able to survive that onslaught if you just try and maybe appease them, not go to war with them. Just try and hold off the Huns and progress your economy. I think you then will be in a good position to hold the territories. And yeah, I think abandoning it, like just destroying the settlement, is possibly not the smartest thing to do, because you will get massive public order boost. What you should do is just destroy most of your buildings, because destroying buildings it's actually kind of worth it, because you are taking stuff from those buildings and getting it back in income. So that's overall not too bad. So I will be doing that. Yeah, and as the Vandals, I'm going to take a look at them in a second, so let's go to them now. Well, here we are with the Vandals. The Vandals also have some really interesting ideas. Like, you could of course go after the West Roman Emperor, Ire. I possibly would also do that partly, but not to sort of take their territory, just to sack and raid their territory so you can get some extra income from that. But afterwards, I would just try and take out, especially the Caramantians and basically all the African tribes, sort of control these three territories, and then maybe expand into Spain and into Italy, basically, in that sort of manner. I think then that's the best way. I suppose you would try and control your territory, maybe. At least that's my idea. Also, one thing to note is that some territories are already researched, like in the Age of Majorian. If you play that, most of these territories are already been researched around this point, so that's also kind of cool. And over here, you already have a couple of researchers already been researched, so that's overall not too bad. And of course, you start off with the Vandalic royal family. You got Gaiseric, the king of the Vandals. You got his son, the next in line, and yeah, he's actually going. I'm pretty sure this guy is going to be the next ruler, but I'm not too sure on that. But yeah, that's the Vandals for you. We're also going to take a little bit of a look on the Huns now, and then we're going to end the video off. Here we are with the Huns. As we can see, we start off with 3 full stacks. And one thing I'm actually curious about, not that he should do it, but if he can set them actually. Because if he can do that, I really want to do that. I think that would be cool. To start off sort of an empire. I know you should not attack these guys because of course they're your tributary state, but I'm just curious to see if we can. Okay, so you cannot settle. Our submods can do that, and I think that is more interesting than being on horde constantly. And but yeah, we got here the Huns, and they start off with some really good armies. They got Ur warriors, Ur archers, Hunnic lances, Hunnic mercenary horse. Actually, I'm not sure where their horse are, but that's kind of weird. Oh well. Why do they have like mercenaries? Well, they have them over here as well. Doesn't matter. But yeah, as you can see, we start off with a lot of actually vassal states, I suppose. Look at that. These are all your vassals. These ones are, these ones are, these ones are, these ones, these ones. They're all your vassal states actually, and yeah, you can actually take some territory out of them. And yeah, but these ones you can certainly try and attack the Romans with it. Oh, really? The Franks actually war with these Webby. Yeah. But yeah, as you can see, you actually make a lot of money, I suppose, out of also your tributary states. I think I also should show that. I think other is tributary states. Yeah, income from um, the tributary. We also got around 3,000 from the normal ones, but that's also kind of interesting. So you start off with 3 really big and powerful forces. So you start off with 3 really powerful stacks. Sorry for my interruption there. So yeah, overall not bad. And then you can of course play as Attila. I'm glad I see he still seems to be alive. I possibly would assassinate him, but his struggles is also one of the things that Attila has been accused of. So I possibly would do that. He got his son, Uto. Okay. Also taking charge of one of the forces. Overall not too bad. So yeah, that's out of 3 Hunnic forces you can play with. At least you don't start off with some more weaker armies that you would normally start off with. But with some really cool, interesting armies, you can definitely do some damage with and try and yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with I think with hordes, you just don't really have like an end objective. You don't have like something where you want to be. You have like a really interesting, stable, controlled empire or something like that. The only thing that you really have now is like yeah your horde and you have to expand that, but I think that's also one thing that is really nice. What I did with my Mongol campaign is that I at some point actually yeah settled somewhere and I basically um, yeah started to really build my empire from the ground up as an independent kingdom from the Mongols. So overall, not too bad. Yeah, it was an interesting mod because it started off with a really interesting diplomatic mechanics. Because you got the Western Empire again being a little bit already hacked upon by the barbarian tribes. And you got the Huns controlling all of these states. But it's one thing I can guarantee you would not be able to be done if you would be playing vanilla. Because these factions would never surrender to you, because that is just not a way that the mechanics unfortunately do work. People are not really willing to surrender at all. So yeah, that is all I think is nice, because historically this is what happened. That's one thing I think was a really missed opportunity in Attila, is there was no fear factor for the Huns. I don't really get that. Why would there not be like a fear factor? Because if you have like a fear factor, like who higher the fear factor is, who more, how the chances, who higher the chances I think are like compared to their strength bar. Like if you have like a fear factor of this, if they have like this amount of strength, there would not be a really big amount of chance that they would um, attack you for an insult, or they would surrender. But if you have like a really high fear factor, there's a good chance they would surrender and sort of pay you to survive. what is actually what happened, because the people feared the Huns. They would rather give them already the monies instead of being destroyed. So yeah, I think that would have been a really cool mechanic if they would have implemented that in this campaign, because it would have made sense. So yeah, but that's one thing I would think would be a big cool mechanic if they would have implemented that. But that's just some rambling of mine, bit of my ideas that I had maybe for this campaign at some point. But yeah, this is my Attila version. I would love to have seen that they would have implemented a fear factor. But yeah, this is this campaign overview. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you also check it out. Again, link in the description below, as well as those sub mods that I used for my Majorian campaign. The Majorian command should now show up at the screen somewhere. So again, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you all in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye bye.